Hello lurkers, and hello archaeologists, I'm John Proxy. I'm a very spooky John Proxy, and it's a Wednesday, a wicked Wednesday, because I've decided to stream on Wednesdays instead of Thursdays, for several reasons. And this is Fatal Frame. I'm having a Fatal Frame 3 adventure, as is this lady, who's just been in a terrible car accident. Let's move the spooky light away from my face. I don't know, put it down there. It's very sad business. Let's load our game. So, I had a very short stream last time because I just didn't know where to go, and I was like, I'm tired. I could have just looked it up and known exactly where to go. I think this is nobody's favourite Fatal Frame, which I appreciate. So the gimmick of the game, just doesn't help it be anyone's favourite. Which is, you keep searching through this one house, which the first two games did. You kept going over the house, and more doors would open up. But this has the sort of cut-off point of going to sleep and waking up. Anyway, I was stuck because I just didn't know where to go. The game had not really told me. But that's not true, it turns out. It turns out I'd just forgotten. I think, because we look for our files. There's a lot of things I've not clicked on recently. Oh, hang on. No, I should actually read that. Alarm. When being attacked by a ghost, the top part of the viewfinder may flash red. Okay, no, I know about that. About two. Yeah, it goes all red. I see. And you get multiple things. Okay, not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something else. We could do a recap, but no. What I'm just looking for my mask. No, that's a quote from the movie Mask. Okay, that's good. I'll have to view said pictures at some point. Oh yeah, I was going to send a picture. I forgot. It's in the game I was fighting the Gundam. There's not a lot of plot in Saga 2 because it's like Kingdom Hearts and there's lots of different worlds, and so all the stories of those worlds have to be really abbreviated. But it's just there's one story where there's a wedding. And you fight the priest at the wedding, and your character says, "Till death do us part." And I'm like, that's cool. He gets an action line, and nowhere else in the game do they get one. It's quite kind of cold considering the tone of the rest of the game. What am I doing? I'm looking for a key, a sleeping stone. Yes, there we go. The sleeping kid. Yes. I killed a god called Venus. She didn't want only beautiful people were allowed in the city. And so the woman, to be with her love, cut her face. And she's like, "How dare you?" And then we fought her. We were like, "Oh, we won't. We'll have weird authoritarians. But you won't. That's one particular lady. You attacking her is crossing the line. Now we'll fight you." We could have sorted this situation as soon as we entered, but whatever. And then we did "Till death do us part," which was kind of weird because it wasn't the priest which was getting married. But anyway, yes. So last episode of unrelated to Saga. This is why everyone joins the Fatal Frame free streams, to hear about other streams that I did that people weren't about for. I defeated a ghost, and that ghost was carrying the stone with this one on. It's one in possibly Chinese. I don't know which language that is. Because it's not necessarily the language of this game. Because, you'd think Japanese, but I'm not entirely sure. The numbered system from the first game, I don't remember if that's Japanese or if it's something else. Anyway, my point is, that dropped, and I completely forgot there was a door that clearly required a stone that had a 1. Like, I'd made note of other doors. I've actually got... Oh no, where's my text gone? Okay, I apparently do not have notes. I did have notes. They've gone, and I'm very confused as to why. Okay. Where are my notes? Question mark. They should be here. Okay, we have new notes. Which is a kind of a shame. Anyway. Because I've taken a while to start. But basically, there are 3 locked doors. And I made a note of where all 3 of those locked doors are. And I was like, I don't have any of those keys. You've given me so many doors, no keys. But I do have a key to a 4th locked door that I completely forgot about. That's where I was getting to. We're going to go there right now. I don't know where that is. I turned the map off. And if we pass any locked doors, we'll add them to our notes. Yes! You said post-mortem one-liner, and it legitimately did not occur to me that, yeah, that is a weird practice. Like, haha, you're dead! And I said a cool thing. If you were alive for that, I would have shooken you to your core. Right. It's in this corridor. I was so close to where the door is as well. It's this kind of... You know the Metroidvania principle? He does. Yeah, he's like an alcoholic psychopath, so like probably shouldn't take your cues from that guy. Drinks to dull the pain. I have to imagine so anyway. Is this I don't know. So yeah, you can imagine how weird it is coming from like a teenage kid just decided to save the world. Actually, the entire tone of Saga is weird. I literally just left the door. Which door was it? Because Saga 2 sets out literally identical to Pokemon. You're a kid in a town. Sure, you didn't just move in with your mum. You don't have a 4-armed mover. Moving boxes. But like, you start at school, your dad's gone AWOL, and you bring 3 friends, and you're like, oh, we're going to find our dad, and we're going to find relics. And that's the thing. And then you go to a different world, and you just end up sorting these problems for people. Like your... I don't know what... Texas Walker's Ranger was the first thing to come to mind. A show I've never seen with a person I don't like in it. Renegade. Like your Renegade. Like your Michael Knight. There you go. There's a good example. Nobody likes Renegade. Is this door? Yeah, It's not this door here. Oh, okay. Turns out I did unlock a door in the last stream. If I literally looked at the map, I could just locate the door quite quickly. But yes, sorry, the Metroidvania principle, which is when you find a place that you can't go past, make it memorable. Jazz hands. So you can go, ooh, I now have the spoon key. There was that room with all those giant spoons in. And you'll remember. What you don't want is, yes, there's that corridor with those 4 sets of stairs that I don't remember which one goes to anywhere. The key must go to one of those. Which is what this game did. In fact, 2 of the doors are in a memorable location. One of them's up some stairs and one of them's where you start. I legitimately don't remember where the... I don't even know if it's this one. Is this where have we spent like 10 minutes walking up and down this corridor? We have. I'm going to blame James Bond again. And imperialism. This is legitimately where I saved. Okay. No, I think I'm in the right place. I promise new content as soon as I find the right set of stairs. I was doing that. This is the introduction. There's like a period of time where I have some leeway. No, I just did the same thing again. It might be one of those doors that's like really hard to... There it is! After fitting in the sleeping stone, the contraption began to move. Minute script is engraved on this stone slate. I knew where it was and it took me 10 minutes to find it. Engrave in the pedestal the same number of panes that are engraved in the sleeping stone. Okay, I'm not sure. This is intriguing. One, two. 1, 2. Okay, that was a weird puzzle. I wasn't sure I got the wording of that, but I moved them the distance of their dots. Of their strokes. That seemed to do it. Cool. Have ourselves a screenshot. I can see a door on the other side of the roof. If I were to walk across the roof, I would be where the door is. The unfinished. Okay. I cannot run, but I do appreciate we are in a very precarious situation, and she's not wearing sensible shoes. I'd be crouching though. I'd lower my center of gravity. Okay, there's this door here. I know she can. Yeah, she's entirely. It's entirely within the realms of possibility for her to lower the sense of gravity. She can go in low corridors, so I know the game has that feature. Something is reflecting on the light of the floor. It's the two mandarins key. Cool. Let's check my notes. Yeah, I don't know where my notes are, do I? So it's up those stairs, I think. Just the ladder. Also at the start. I found part for the camera obscura. Evade. When you are caught by a ghost, if your timing pressing the shoot button is good, you can evade the attack. Cool. That tells me that I've forgotten the button. Well, he's sorry at least. There we go. Ah, that third window was very short. Oh, I think I tipped the camera and lost it. Okay. You're already dead, though. Died. You gotta use the past tense, buddy. Right. Let's heal up. I think it's tools. Herbal medicine. Okay. Camera. I can apparently escape vengeful ghosts, but I don't know how. But I don't think I had my camera on at that point. Right. Let's check out the other way. Yeah, I guess she doesn't get to decide what to wear, because that's not what she went to sleep in. Camera! I didn't get it out quick enough. Maybe I want to visit those candles, so... Yes! Is it... I think it's no... Yeah. Wait a minute. Oh, the floor's broken. I was going to say, how did the original people who owned this get to that room? What I've done is that I've... Game, did you really just give me a path to nowhere just to be a bastard? What I've done is just make the game more atmospheric. I've got a drippy tap. Drippy tap. That's going to just make me occasionally paranoid for no reason. Okay, when I get the opportunity, I'm going to have to turn off the water. So, there's a small box on top of dust-covered cloth. Okay, I'm going to need to get a plumber at some point. I can't. I don't have the strength or the dexterity to get the thing off the tap. I've tried very hard, and it just won't happen. It's just not happening. So my only respite is just manually turning off the tap from the pipes. But you can't get at it because there's a goddamn pipe in the way of the stop tap thingy. So I've got to do it blind, like over. It's otherwise I would have just gone and done it by now. It's a thing. I have to kneel down and but also that's costing me money, isn't it? So it's not ideal. Is that a door? No, it's not. It's penetrating my noise-cancelling headphones as well. I was asking people in the office, is it bad form to bring noise-cancelling headphones to the office? But, okay, not... How did I do that? How did I leave and come back? Why am I so poor? Yeah, it is this. I'm so poor I'm seeking directions. Yes. So, but I've been plonked next to Jamie and the radio. So, you know, I'm where the music is loudest. So I feel like I've got a certain amount of leeway. The idea of going back into the office and just hiding from the entire of the office seems counter to the reason why we were sent back to the office in the first place, but we shall see. Yeah, I went back. I've been back one day because I needed an electrician came in yesterday, so I took that day. I worked from home that day. I didn't take that day off, but of course, yeah, I did tell them in advance, and then they forgot. So I got a bunch of messages going, "Where are you?" And I was like, "Oh God, it's already started." But I do have to go in tomorrow. Yes, I've got to go in tomorrow. Huh. So it turns out the day I came in was entirely up to my manager going, "Yeah, just those days will be fine." There's lots of noise going on here. She was very surprised. Oops, I missed that one. Oh no, it says I got free hit combo. Fine, I'll go this way. Cool. That drip is going along. I believe that's what the internet means by having drip. Is it this one here? That one will leave me. Leave me this place? That's not how you pronounce that. I will escape the nightmare if I use that door. Right. The notched arrow. Entrance. Notched arrow key. Is that the entrance? There we go. We have a note. Put it there. Stop making that noise. Hang on, I'm gonna deal with the drip. There was a ghost in my kitchen. That's what am I gonna do? No, that's an entirely different thing. Hello, yes. While you two chat, I'm going to find the second door that I know the location of. On Wicked Wednesdays. I don't know if Rambler knows Explodey has met. He's probably been in some of the chats. Most of the people, well spoken, for my stream have been poached from my brother. But well, I say poached. They visit occasionally. He's got his own Discord with actual people in, and you can put your links. But you're an original. You're a prox. You're an original approximation. I don't know. I'll have to come up with the yeah. You're an OG. Let's check out this ladder. This ladder here. Because if it's the third place, I have no idea where it is. Ah, I feel like I just defeated you, Ghost Lady. Also, should I be impressed that ghosts can fly? No, I'm actually slightly more impressed that ghosts can decide which height they float. Oh, God! Yeah, I'm going to need to heal. Yeah, being on that, this was a poor place to stand. I didn't kill Daddy. Oh, she's just having a gander. Now I feel bad. That was a friendly ghost, that one. Well, no, I was as surprised as she was that time. Okay. So yeah, so I guess the floor... I guess... Oh, so ghosts are somewhat metaphorical, right? We have to assume this. Even in fiction where ghosts are explicitly real things that actually exist, really. So they... Even though they can walk through walls, they're on the level with us because they're projected from our hearts, right? That's presumably why they... Well, I guess they occasionally fall through places. They did in the second game. They don't tend to rise. Vampires rise, but not ghosts. Even though ghosts totally can rise if they want to, if they chose to. Do you think that's the two Mandarins key? There's this anime. It's called Bleach. It's Dragon Ball Z, but instead of tournaments, they have ghosts like Derek Akora. They have seances and stuff. But if you only certain people can see ghosts, right? That's how all ghosts work. But these ghosts, they can do things like they can break cars. They go rah, and a car will be smashed. Like in episode 2, I think it is, a girl is saved from a car hitting by a ghost. Spoiler warning. I just because you think the ghost attacking her, but the ghost actually saved her. But yeah, but it smashed the car. But it's always explained by a hallucination. Oh, it's there was a gas leak, stuff like that. Like there's like this conscience. They don't really explain all of it. It's but just whenever there's destruction, the general population just doesn't assume it's anime ghosts. But like later on, the ghosts can talk, and you can only hear the ghosts if you can see the ghosts. But the ghosts, where's the sound coming from? Because like, if the ghosts are invisible, right, and that's a concept I understand. Oh, you can be invisible. But what's the oral equivalent of that? I just realised, pausing this. What's the sound equivalent of being invisible? They're unhearable? Apart from the people... Like, that's a strange... Never mind the whole vibrations thing. Because presumably, the sounds... Even though they're yapping their gums, the sound's being projected in your head or something. I don't know. There's some science. It just conceptually, it's kind of a weird thing. Anyway, let's open this door. There was more lurkers about. No, it's the wrong door. It's the wrong door. I don't know where the third door is. I wrote it down and the note went. The bellflower. The bellflower key is up ladder. I don't remember what the last key is. I wrote it down, damn it, but it's I don't know, there's only so many places to check, to be honest. It's somewhere. Alright, the ghost is happy that I don't know where it is and left me alone, apparently, which is I appreciate. I might look it up because I did know. I'm going to go back. I think it's the other way. I'm going to go with my instinct. My Dragon Ball Z Ultra Instinct, that is. I've not seen the new Dragon Ball Z. I don't know what Ultra Instinct is. I have had somebody try to explain it to me, and I still don't know what it is. So it's fun being on the other side of that. And this isn't the most fun game to be stuck on, because you'll just end up having to fight the 2 available ghosts. Ooh. Ah! Welcome. You got a red snail. Thank you, Resident Beyond, for your follow. I appreciate that. See, that's why I missed your snail song, Vambler, earlier, but you would have got the same set of snails as the followers, so I need to improve the subscription snails. I did try and make, speaking of drip, I did try and make a more like a golden snail with a golden. It just didn't look very good. I'm gonna save my game. I just need to finish drawing the crab. Because that'll give me a whole range. Yeah. I've got... Because one of the snails has like a pearlescent shell, and that looks really good. Because occasionally I just... yeah. Occasionally I stumble upon design colour schemes that work. But like... So the pearlescent snail, it's a black snail but with a pearlescent shell. It's one of the better looking ones. It's one of the special snails rather than the normal snails. I put a lot of thought into those snails. As soon as I realised you could put images up, I was like, I'm going to put way too much effort into mine. But, yeah, there were 4 normal snails with red, blue, green, and yellow shells. And there are 3 special snails with more interesting colour schemes. And they all have different faces. I believe they're called expressions, John. Yes. I'm trying to find one of the short doors that I already went through, because I think that's where the second... Oh, I know where it is. You know what? This is on me. My bad, it's on me. The game directed me to go downstairs. There was a person downstairs. That's clearly where I'm supposed to go. If it's not, then I'm going to be grumpy with the game. But this is where you came from, John. This, I'm going to look at the map. Yeah. 2F, stairs hallway, is the worst place in this game. I'm going to say it. And so far. If anything is in one of these 3 locations, it's going to take me 10 minutes to find it. Because I'm going to have to check every single one. Oh, now I have a spooky girl. I heard a spooky girl. I don't even think we did it, but we're going to do a pen and paper RPG, like Vampire the Masquerade one. And one of the rules was you don't get to be a spooky little girl. Nobody gets to be a spooky little girl. It's just banned. Just like, I think it's even in the book. Just like, please don't be that. Everyone does that, and it's boring. You can't. You can't do skipping rope. 1, 2, Freddy's coming. You couldn't do none of that. Come up with something else. The Wuno Ghost game, so it's different. But there we go. It's a place entirely. Actually, we'll get the medicine. There's medicine here. I think so. I think it refills. See, we can definitely crouch. Okay, no. I think that's a start. Yeah, she totally can't get underneath that. That's a... it's clearly out of bounds. Right, a different door. But yes. So that's why, is it this door? There we go. That's got to be the door. The one we literally saw somebody go through a second ago. Amount of gravestones piled on top of one another. I can't see the name of any, or any kind of writing on any of them. Maybe the memorial mound is for the unmourned dead. Perhaps. Alright, I'm gonna use this opportunity to pull one out for some of my homies. Let's pretend I never said. There we go. I don't know. Occasionally I say things and I go, I probably shouldn't say things like that. In that way. Using those particular words. Here's the key. There is an ancient, sturdy-looking lock on the door. There is an image of 2 mandarins carved on the lock. Speaking of things you shouldn't say, there's a there's a superhero villain. What's his name? Robot Man. The red and orange Robot Man. Captain Iron Man. One of his villains is called the Mandarin, and I was like, you probably shouldn't be called the Mandarin nowadays. Which is, I mean, sensibly, when they made a film about the third one, that was a fake out person. But yeah. Your location. It's you! Remember the car crash? Are we going to flash back to it now? No, we woke up! That's what I mean, we didn't go to bed. Got a painful tattoo. We didn't go to bed with, Oh, hang on. It's the same courtyard and tomb from the daydream. We didn't go to bed in practical shoes, but it is clearly a part of our day-to-day wear. So it's like Matrix, The Matrix, which has a sequel coming out soon, where you have like a residual costume in your head. Not a costume, you know, specifically it's not a costume. You have a version of yourself in your head, and that's where if you were to suddenly appear, that you wear the clothing of. It's, you know, I've forgotten the term they use. Obviously, there's lots of things about that film, from, like, I watched that film in, you know, the year 2000, where you look back at it in 2020, 2021, and you go, I may not have had the same amount of insight as I do nowadays. Anyway, In the dream, Hugh was inside. We've got an app on our phone that makes our phone ring like an old phone, clearly. That is the only explanation. Hang on. This is a PlayStation 2 game. So really, we should be hearing da 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 da. But no, we have ourselves a very old-fashioned phone. Although I did, yeah, I know. Take the stream down. I'm gonna get struck with copyright claims. This phone, I growing up did briefly have a phone which did require the finger and the going around. And if there was an emergency, it was like, we've got to go the longest possible distance if there was an emergency. And we did briefly have like an absurdly impractical like email phone. Which, yeah, those are things that existed before, you know, mobile phones got flat. Yes. Ray, it's Miku. Good morning. I've gathered together all the information I got from the editor about the woman yesterday. I wanted you to see it. Miku is the girl from the first game. I assume it's been a couple of years. So this is, speaking of the MCU, we are now in the Fatal Frame universe. All the Fatal Frames are connected together now. Because this is a story about stories. Which, what's the quote? I like quoting from Fight Club. On a long enough timeline, all horror stories will be about horror stories. Because at some point you're going to have to reference Stephen King. And yes, so it gets meta. But I guess a part of the meta-ness is because one of the most horrific things that somebody could realistically suffer from is not knowing whether something's real or not, which ghost stories very much inhabit. The sort of gaslighting thing, which is a real terrifying thing that happens. Of course, ghost stories are effective because, as I alluded to before, generally they're about your memories, right? I know obviously there are people out there that genuinely believe in ghosts as a kind of actual thing. But, you know, I like to think about ghost stories as like guilt, right? Otherwise, they're just a bit silly. In the same way that zombies are about people. I gathered, yeah, she's gathered all the information. Yeah, I don't have a... The problem is anyone who likes kind of nerdy lore about stuff now watches very like well written videos, like about 20 minutes long. And like I can't no, it's not Hatsune. Reasonably common name, I believe. But we can imagine she's singing down the phone in a kind of semi-robotic voice. So yeah, I can't summon forth from my brain like a theory that's that neatly explained even. Partly because I'm just bad at explaining things. Anyway, let's click the button. It's laying on the desk in my room, so please go take a look at it if you like. I've gotten a little worried about all this. There was one other thing I wanted to check out. I'll be back after I finish.
I understand. Thanks.
So, yeah, it's Miku from the first game. Speaking of rambling, we did have a couple more lurkers, and I've rambled for so long that they've disappeared. He's just not going to even play the game, is he? He's just going to talk forever. I did complete the first couple of games. So this house, I think, is why this game is not anyone's favourite Fatal Frame. Because rhythmically speaking, this just puts a massive wall between certain sections of the game. You're now in a house, and you're going to be in a house for a while. And nothing scary happens in the house. So yeah. Pacing wise. Cat! Hello, cat! I said hello, I'm trying to... I don't know which button pets. Yay! No, I'm taking your picture, cat. She doesn't like going to Miku's room while she's out. Let's feed the cat. So I assume it's why the cat meowing. In the corner is an ornamental potted plant and... Stuck to the refrigerator door on my work schedule and a calendar with the supermarket discount days marked on them. That's a very Japanese thing. I've noticed that in Persona and One Punch Man. That you have to go to the supermarket on certain... Like, it's on specific days of the week. So it's Monday sale day. And if you're foolish enough to go on a Tuesday, you're just paying more for your peas. I don't know if that makes more or less sense than like Furniture World, which is a store that's had a sale on for 20 years. Or, you know, the cheeky bastard thing that Amazon does. That all stores do. But, which is, they have a sale, but a month before the sale, they put all the prices up, so they immediately go down for the sale. And we know Amazon does this because we can track the prices. But, like, it was harder before Amazon to go, I'm definitely sure that CEX charged, you know, there was a week of it charging double and then half again. Okay, I can't find any cat food. Miku hardly asked for anything, but she begged me to buy her this microwave. It wasn't cheap, but we've been eating all kinds of new things since we got it. No thanks to me, though. The only thing I use it for is heating up instant meals. Oh, you can feel the spooky atmosphere. We are being spooked by the idea that this cat wants something, and I don't know what it is. Which is the most horrific thing. Ray, pet the cat. I'm trying. Legitimately, none of my buttons are doing anything. Oh, there we go. Cat-based puzzles. Pet cat. Okay, we're staring down with the cat. I'm gonna... While we stare down cat, I'm going to pour out more tea. Hang on, I forgot to do a thing. There we go. Right. So I understand that cats are also in ghost stories, specifically one involving witches, but I'm guessing it's not just witches, specifically black cats. I don't get it. Like, I'm trying to piece together in my head the idea that cats kind of behave erratically. Like, in Terminator, with dogs, right? You have dogs bark at ghosts or vampires and stuff because we have this thing where, oh, if the dog's barking, then it must be for a good reason. Which isn't true at all. Occasionally dogs just bark at weird shit. But, like, you know, cats will do erratic stuff, like moving when there's nothing there. I get that. But I don't get the idea that a cat is inherently scary. Because, have you seen their faces? They're funny little creatures. And I don't know why anyone would find one scary. Like, an angry cat... A lion is scary. A big cat. Like, a small angry cat is more of a nuisance than scary. But, like, it could... I mean, they've got claws and stuff. Anyway. I think we won that stewing competition. I mean, I did move first. But I think I won on principle. Okay, we can just... look at the cat and not pet it. Which I think is Yeah. Well, I just don't think I quite understand the superstitions, but I guess the idea is somebody died of. You know what? I'm not going to comedically come up with a random illness, but and I can't remember an accurate one. And there was a cat, so it must have been the cat's fault because it crossed our path. Okay, now we disturb the cat because the cat's sleeping. Yeah, we're just going to look at. We admire cat. We do not pet cat. We've not got pet cat technology yet. Okay. The other reason it's no, I'm not going to say it's because I've only got one illness in my head, and I don't know what it is. Like I legitimately don't know what the symptoms are, and I don't know why it's the. I've seen most of House. Okay, because I could have said lupus, couldn't I? And because lupus is also like a dog thing, that might have made sense. But unfortunately, it took me far too long to get to that word. You know, there's no catus. Yeah. In the RPG, Dragon Quest, it's Dragon something. It's got the same artist as Dragon Ball. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. Does it? Yes, it does. Akira Toriyama. Dragon Quest. And you can pet cats and dogs in there. And you go to one room and it's just full of cats. And it's like, it took me 10 minutes to leave that room because I've got to pet all the cats. Like, so it's dangerous. It's dangerous technology. Let's have a look at the diary. Miku always keeps her desk so neatly arranged. But it is legitimately, there's a tiny part of you that gets tiny bit angry now. Part of me, I don't know about you. Where if I just can't pet an animal in a computer game, I just expect it nowadays. Miku always keeps her desk so neatly arranged. It's not that neat. Now, I was going to draw on the screen. I've not got paint set up, but like, you know, straighten out these. Turn that slightly. Like, I can see ways I can tidy that up. And I'm not a very tidy person. Oh, okay. There's a pile of reference materials, Miku's notes on the desk. She said she'd put them together for me. I'm genuinely surprised there aren't games with Miku Hatsune in. And I don't mean like dancing games or singing games or anything like that. I mean like, I'm genuinely surprised they don't just put her in random games. Yoshino Takagawa. So that's the first... We met a ghost or a zombie lady. We met a woman with the same tattoo that we had in our dreams. And the tattoo completely took over her. And she's now gone. And that was Yoshino Takagawa, and we're doing research on her. The woman in the photograph, Yoshino Takagawa, 26, she was the only survivor of a plane crash that occurred in August. I'm also surprised. Actually, I don't... Because there's people who are anime people on the internet now. I've forgotten their names. They do streams. They're on Twitch, right? And they all have their anime faces. I'm surprised that nobody's made an official Miku person. VTubers, yeah. Because that's like, I know there's like a million unofficial ones, and there's like 12 that are from that a company or something like that. And I know there's companies that make... I don't actually know enough about Miku, to be honest, because that would require searching a subject I don't really care about, but like, because I'm curious about most things. But then there's, you know, actual research, and you're like, my curiosity's not quite that strong. So like, there might actually be, and they're just like not organically made, so nobody watches them. But I don't think VTubers really have to be concerned about whether it's organic or not. Following a comment from a reporter named Ozawa, covered it. When the plane crashed, Miss Takagawa was thrown out of the aircraft and was mostly untouched by the fire. Also, the arbor where she was thrown became a cushion, and she was thus miraculously saved. So, I mean, that's a strange way of phrasing that, but sure. When rescued, her external injuries were mild burns, bruises, and scrapes, and it was determined there was no threat to her life. But as it took 4 days to find her... Sorry, a thought occurred to me. Because it's going to happen. It probably won't happen with Miku, because she's probably tied up in, like, half a dozen copyright things. But there's no reason why you couldn't put any random VTuber in a game, but not as themselves, acting. In the same way that in the 2000s, computer games obviously has always had actors in. But at some point, somebody realised, oh, you can put Bruce Willis's face on a character and it not be Bruce Willis. You can use him as an actor in a game. There was a game called Armageddon, where there was like this weird phenomenon. It was like, oh, it's not a film. It's just a game that has a person's face. It's Bruce Willis's face. And that was kind of weird at the time, because usually it's an entirely different face. Like, the idea of a realistic person's face that isn't representative of that person was odd. But, like, you could just have a VTuber with a different costume on. I don't know how you do that. It's probably 3D modelling and stuff. Playing a person in a game. And it could be starring that person, right? I don't know whether that's big enough to warrant that sort of thing yet. But the games are getting easier and easier to create, right? Anyway, I'm going to stop talking about VTubers. It's just that I had that thought, and I was like, that's a good idea. That's a money-making idea. Not one I'm personally interested in, but I could see the potential for somebody making money with that. But it's like, but I couldn't do it. Obviously, because I don't have money. You need money to make money. When rescued, her external injuries were mild burns, bruises, and scrapes, and it was determined there was no threat to her life. But as it took 4 days to find her, she was very dehydrated, weak, and distressed, and she seemed to be suffering mentally. During those 4 days, she was surrounded by other victims, her relatives, and her lovers' corpses. Again, very odd way to phrase all of this. Just the phrase, her lovers' corpses, is, I think, a thing that nobody should have ever written down anywhere. Like, for a start, they all have names, right? You name the dead people out of respect. You know, unless you're like a Daily Mail or something. But like, but this is a reporter. This is somebody. I actually don't know the context of why this is written down. Miku has done research. I feel like she could have phrased this in a way that wasn't quite as like dehumanizing. Like, that's 2 layers of abstraction that dude's got. He's not just a corpse. The lover's got, like, he's defined by his relationship and by his state of life. Like, poor Jeffrey has died and he was, you know, in the relationship. Like, there's ways of doing it. No, it's just the lover's corpse. Like, blimey. It's cold, game. No wonder there are ghosts. I'd be angry as well. Next to what I heard from someone at the hospital admissions, after hospitalization, she was extremely frightened of being alone or sleeping. She apparently had frightening dreams and would even hurt herself to stay awake. See, that's conceptually interesting. We're in this... Freddy Krueger, obviously, briefly hit upon that idea, and it's the second best Nightmare on Elm Street for it, because the idea... It's in the first film. Yes, it's in the first film, you know, with Johnny Depp. And it's a major part of that film, just trying to stay awake. But the fact that would send you in... that's insane. You can't just stay awake forever. Is, briefly considered. But over time, the amount of sleep grew longer until she spent most of the day sleeping. At first, it was thought she was sleeping due to the psychological trauma she experienced, but her condition gradually grew worse, and she would sleep for 3 days straight. When she woke, she would complain of hallucinations, saying pain. She just said pain! And there were bruises all over my body. Yeah, we sing that with the tattoos. There is, I'm reminded of this, and there's not enough people here for me to care about me rambling on in different directions now. There is a course, on the YouTube, it's a university course. It's from Stanford University. There's 2 courses that you can watch in full, and I'll probably watch them both. One's about maths, and the other one is about it's a multidiscipline thing by a is he a he's not people who study monkeys. What are their names? I've forgotten his official title, but the gimmick of the course, I think I mentioned it before, it's a vague. I think he's a biologist, but there's different types of biologists. He's not an evolutionary biologist, he's more of a study monkeys type one. But the point of the talk is he's going to explain for about an hour and a half a discipline. He might take two days to do this, so it might be, let's say each one's an hour, and I think there are about 15 of them. So one of them's on evolution, one of them's on a different thing, one of them's on a different thing. And the idea is he wants to explain how this works, the science of it. He goes through all of this, and in the last 5 minutes he's going to explain, oh, there's this other discipline, and they don't like this for this reason, and this reason. So he's going to build up an entire thing, and then the last minute he's just going to break it down. And then the next week, I guess, for the kids, the course, they 18, he's going to go into the new discipline, and he's going to build it up and build it up and build it up, and immediately break it down. It's really, really good, by the way. Like he explains at the start, things like the Holocaust. You can explain the Holocaust in sort of that's somebody using Darwinian theory to a terrible end, right? And like that's the most horrific example you can think of. But there's the I've forgotten the name of it now. The whole brain thing. We were talking about it before. That again, that's somebody who believed in the sort of brain and all the mechanics was in the brain, just not really considering any other perspectives. So the whole point of the course was to look at just the human decision making and all that from every single possible perspective, and then consider all of them. And I watched it 10 years ago, and I've rewatched it recently, and I realised I stopped in the same place, because as soon as it gets to genetics, it actually gets really complex. And I'm like, oh god, this is very difficult to casually watch. Because some of them is about evolution. But the point I'm making is, one of them is, you make your best guess. Oh, why is this behaviour? Oh, because of this reason. And then a different school of thought goes, where's your evidence? Like, it's not just about having the best story. We want you've got to provide a thing that has testable results. And that's why you jump into the different things. It's really good. And even the first one where he explains, it's why it's free, by the way. Like, he doesn't need to make this free. He's clearly made it free on YouTube because he thinks everyone should watch it. And I recommend it to anyone as well. I also looked him up to see if he was secretly a dickhead. And he's not. So that's good. I hate that's the thing I have to do nowadays. But I did test to see, is he secretly a monster? Has he since... people. No, he's doing fine. I've forgotten his name now. Anyway, if you watch enough left-wing YouTube, you actually see the video in people's videos. So it's in the loop of things that people watch. But it's really good, by the way. But my point is this sort of comment here, where people just come up with yeah, that story works. Yeah, it's a good story. Wouldn't fly in other disciplines, because it's like, that's not testable. Why did she die? Because of her nightmares. It's like, cool, that's not a testable thing. Like, so like in the brain, biology, stuff like that. Oh dear, because of your GCSE thing. Hello, brother, by the way. I was actually speaking about school just while you arrived. Because I've been watching all the spooky stuff going on the screen. Oh yeah, the exploding. I was saying before. I poached all your viewers. They're never going back to you. Oh shit. Fair enough. That's really annoying. We've got a little gun at our work as well. When we walk in, they shoot the gun at you to see your temperature, and you get sent home if you've got a high temperature. But that's... Oh, hang on. I've got tests. You can have my tests if you want. I've got a box full of them. I mean, I've used a couple, obviously. But I've got some tests if you need some. Oh, well, I hope it's a... You know, just a bog standard flu thing, because that sucks. Yeah. I'm going to continue reading spooky things. We just have... It doesn't really matter now. Well, it is... I mean, we're in the realm of horror. If you forgive me saying. I'm going to continue reading, because I've done not a lot. I mean, it's like, if I'm happy, then that's all I care about, to be honest. As pertains to this stream. There is spooky things going on behind this writing, so I'm going to continue reading. I did find the key, brother, to where it goes. I'm going to figure out what that guy's stream is called as well. Hang on. Let me just check for a brief second. I can actually check, because I don't think I ever close it. Okay, cool. It's human behavioral psychology, human behavioral biology, and it's Robert Sapolsky, and it's Stanford, and yeah, there's an entire free set of lectures. They are 25 times an hour and a half, basically, and they're really good. Also, have I been not widescreen for a while? Oh no, I just pressed the wrong button. Okay, yes. Brother's making food. I was going to ask him how his day was, but obviously not great. That's... As her hallucinations grew worse... actually, sorry, 'cause since I'm on the page, I might as well... So, yes. So, 2 of the videos on behavioural evolution, 2 of the videos on molecular genetics, 2 of the videos on behavioural genetics, 1 of the videos on recognising relatives. And that's the one I'm paused on, because suddenly it gets to genetics, and yeah, he says at the start, he gets people to raise their hands, oh, what's your discipline, right? And it's like, some of them are just reporters, and he's like, good luck. Yeah, and he's really happy, he wants everyone to do the thing, but it's like, you may have to take extra classes, because it's going to get quite deep in certain subjects, because it's like, it's all over the place. It's the endocrinology, I beg your pardon, endocrinology, there's neuroscience, limbic system, sexual behavior and aggression. There's a lot on aggression, chaos and reductionism. But yes, it's very important for him that whenever you have a theory, it's like you just don't get caught in this one way of thinking, because to him, that's where a lot of these kind of that's where we get like bad systems from, because people just refuse to think multi-perspectively. Anyway, and I recommend them to anyone, especially that, because the first video is literally him explaining why you should watch the rest. So the first one's a good recommend anyway. As her hallucinations grew worse, she became less responsive. Is that brother who sent me messages? Yes, it was. Okay. I'm going to put an unhappy face, which I never think is adequate, but like, people seem to do that. Communication is difficult. As her hallucinations grew worse, she became less responsive to outside stimulus during her waking hours, and would sometimes mutter deliriously or sing lullabies. The past several days she hasn't woken, and the rest is as Ray saw. Okay, so we're reading notes, but we're being read as if they're from a narrator that's omnipotent, which is somewhat confusing. But this is also just a hospital rumour, but the staff has a long-standing urban legend among themselves about the patients like Takagawa, or who they call lost patients. The only reason I brought that all up, by the way, is because horror games in general have a really bad habit of going, there was a theory, and it's like, okay, that's just the correct theory. Like, you wouldn't need... I know storytelling says that you don't... You know, yeah, there's Chekhov's gun, right? You don't introduce a theory about lost patients in Act 1 for them not to turn up in Act 5. I get that. But also, I don't know if you've ever watched any mystery, but loads of things go nowhere in mysteries. And horror has mystery elements. You should like maybe research how mysteries work instead of just having it be like, oh yeah, it turns out there's this rumor about cats, and well I know it's gonna be the cat. Like, you wouldn't bring it up otherwise. Investigation. The way there'd be massive pacing. Yeah, there'd be massive pacing issues if red herrings existed in horror games. I get that. Investigation regarding Yoshino Takagawa added to the file. I probably shouldn't mention pacing issues when I've spent, I think, about an hour not playing this game, just being distracted by literally everything. Placed between the pages of Miku's notebook is a copy of a newspaper cutting with today's date written on it. There we go. Patient disappears. Patient disappears. On the night of the 9th, a patient disappeared from her ward in Katsuragi Hospital, and the police are currently searching for her. The missing person is the sole survivor of the August plane crash, Yoshino Takagawa, 26. Ms. Takagawa became emotionally unstable after the accident. She was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder and hospitalized long-term. We're in the 2000s, so... the hospital's response to her disappearance went no further... I think it'd been updated, but it doesn't matter. The hospital disappearance went no further than we are investigating the details. Ms. Takagawa lost all her family in the accident, and concerns... I don't know how to pronounce C's anymore, do I? Have been raised about her current whereabouts. Accident. There we go. Newspaper article, patient disappears, added to file. Like, we're gathering evidence, and literally every single evidence is going to be relevant. There is a joke about this. Oh god, you keep... in Terry Pratchett book. Is it Going Under? It's the one with the troll, Mr. Diamond. Mr. Shine, him Diamond. That's the one. Thank you. And the very first crime scene, there's like a bunch. Thud. Thank you very much. There's a bunch of evidence gathered, and the main dude is just like, "This is just stuff. You're being distracted by stuff." Going Under. Going Under isn't even a book. It's Going Postal. Going Under's a song by Evanescence, John. Thud, yes. That's good. I'm over reread Thud. That picture stand on the desk has been laid flat. Is this a photo of Miku? Miku with man. Photo shows Miku with a kind-looking young man. He has a kind face. Hello, brother. Yeah, I've been streaming for about an hour and 24 minutes. I say about, I'm reading the number on the screen. I've been playing for about 15 minutes because I keep going on long tangents about just nothing in particular, to be honest. We did meet a cat, though. We met a cat. We did not pet the cat because the game just didn't have an option for that. We got to look at the cat, though, while it stretched. Did you learn anything? I'm trying... I'm a terrible person. This is me trying to be nice, and I'm not very good at it. Yes. I'm going to pour some tea out. Is that Mary Shelley? of the original Dracula or this game? Because I feel like I know what the plot's of the Dracula. A boyfriend? No. More likely a brother or sister. It depends how important the spoiler is. If you tell me the end of the game, I might not be keen on that. I'm going to hide this text. She's always been cheerful enough. Oh, yes, you can tell me spoilers of Bram Stoker's Dracula. She's always been cheerful enough, but I don't think I've ever seen her look quite this contented. I heard she had lost family member. Could this person in the picture be... Oh, yes, of course. Go ahead, brother, and for Well-Spoken Rambler. So the first game, you're just a schoolgirl. Like, you turn up at a house with a school bag on. Presumably, you didn't even go home from school. And you're like, my brother's in the spooky house. Because he went in because he worked for some reporters and stuff. And they went in because they were researching, like, some folklorists. And they went in because they were researching... Have I missed a level? Oh, no, they were researching the original people who lived in the house. So the entire of the first game is people researching people, researching people, researching people, researching people. And you get an entire chart. I did not know that happened in the book. The problem is, if you say Jonathan now, I can only think of Keanu Reeves' really poor acting. The movie we've got Gary Oldman in, where like both the main goodies are really bad actors, and it's a really strange decision to have Gary Oldman work with them. So at the end of the game, there's multiple endings to these fatal frames, but hang on, we escaped with the brother, didn't we? Or did he stay behind? Brother, how did the first game end? I can't remember. One of the endings is... I think there's a bad ending and a good ending and maybe a medium ending. I think we escaped with the brother, but the ghost wasn't very happy. Because the ghosts aren't evil. They're just sort of... They're holding up. You gotta... Turns out you have to murder maidens in like weird creative ways to keep the gates of hell closed. I don't make the rules. I don't know who does, but somebody does, and they've got weird rules. I mentioned this before because, like, you know how like you cook something and you think, well, somebody had to figure out that you set meat on fire and you just throw these vegetables and it's going to taste great, and presumably lots of people died doing that. You know, trying to eat the wrong things. Well, I don't know what the equivalent is to creatively murdering people to keep the gates of hell closed. Just like, you know, I know, like, murdering a goat on a mountain is a relatively simple process, right? You murder the goat and you go, cool, it's not raining anymore. It probably was the goat we murdered. But, like, it's, my thing is green and I'm getting, like, 6,000 KB/S. Not sure if it's here. Box is green. I'm going to continue pressing buttons. My point is, like the ritual in the first game is you tie a person up. You've got to make sure they're a maiden, and you strangle them and their arms and legs and head, which is where you typically strangle a person. And then you murdered them, and the ghosts are like, oh, okay, fair enough, we'll stay in hell. But she fell in love, and the brother looks just like the person she fell in love with. But there's two versions of that ghost. There's like the actual original maiden who's just like, oh, I was quite willing, you know. Hell seems kind of important. And a vengeful ghost who, you know, wanted to not be murdered. That's the plot of the first game. My brother's having a pretty unlucky day, and it sounds frustrating. Okay, we've learned things. We put on our night clothes, which indicates we're going to sleep. But I'm confused about why the game didn't just send us to sleep. Why did we just... She's clearly just got out of bed. I'll save my game, I guess. I guess it makes sense that you can't dress up for the dream. Because otherwise you just bring a load of stuff with you. I'm going to grab a bag, some guns, some better cameras. No, I guess you need the camera obscura. Do I go straight to bed or do we... Okay, no, I've got to talk to Miku then. We don't have evening clothes. We have night clothes and day clothes. Night clothes! Ah! There we go. It wasn't the high version. I could do the high version. I just choose not to. Miku, are you there? Oh, she's there. Yay! Somebody's petting the cat. No, Japan, stop that.
Renee, you've been working too hard. You should get some rest.
Okay, no. Do I handle the I'm just gonna go to sleep. I'm assuming that the audio doing that is not an intended part of the spook. Oh yes, welcome brother to Wicked Wednesday. Oh, I don't want to go to sleep if I can't do the sleepy thing yet. Hang on, it probably won't let me. Do I have to grab the pictures from somewhere? Yeah, I took a picture of the cat, which is the most important thing. Let's protect the picture of the cat at all costs. Let's protect it. There we go. Did I accidentally delete it? No, I accidentally deleted it because the X button means something different. No! Oh, you know what? I'll go downstairs quickly. Maybe I have to go pick up the pictures. I'll try that. I'll talk to Miku one last time and then I'll go to sleep. Oh, jeez. How did you get there? No, it sounds like you've been possessed.